All right.
But by the way, I know we gotta get started on this, but
No, we don't.
I was thinking about this afternoon. I was sitting watching some high quality program. I'm missing the last half of Svengoolie to record this, but that's okay. And I was thinking though, as I was sitting there watching the Monolith,
You get the Me TV.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's good. That's good.
I got an
It's got some
antenna.
wholesome programming when they, when them sons of bitches out there in that Hollywood land would do stuff that was wholesome rather than all this smut.
Like anyway, I don't have cable. I use an antenna. It's indoor antenna. It picks up about 12 stations.
And it
That's all I
picks up
need.
Me TV.
It picks up Me TV. But anyway, as I was sitting there watching Monolith Monsters, which I'd never seen before, and I was thinking I would love to see John Carpenter remake. But I was thinking about, as one does, the coronavirus, and I was just saying, do you think the coronavirus gets picked on by other plagues?
Chad's already checked out. He went to his phone.
I'm pulling my notes up.
Because my entire thing was everybody's acting like it's a panic, and you should be concerned. You should wash your hands. You should do stuff. But like the mortality, if you're my age and otherwise healthy and wash your hands and stuff, it's like 0.002%. Or 0.02%.
It's called the media is finally getting tired of every day Trump fucked something up, or hey, the Australia's slowly burning down. Let's talk about this thing.
I love the fact that Chad called it the Australia.
Yeah.
Like the real Ghostbusters, not the fucking Australia with a monkey walking around.
But you think
that's an obscure joke.
Yes.
I had to check.
Or is it a gorilla? It was a gorilla.
Nobody gives a shit about Paul Hogan anymore. He's sitting there dying in his tree.
He's doing another.
Anyway, he needs to do Expendables 4. I'd pay to see him in Expendables 4. Anyway, my point being is like polio is making a comeback in Africa. I don't know if you know anything about polio, but polio.
Beaver?
I got nothing.
Horse beaver.
Polio is one of the scariest things that you can wake up, oh, I don't feel too well. Next morning, you wake up unable to walk and in some cases move. That's way more scarier than a respiratory illness.
We have got to get you a headset where your voice doesn't cut out.
Well, I think the other problem is if your microphone picks anything up, mine actually lowers the volume because this is actually a gaming headset.
This right here, this is a solid blue.
Well, here, let me check something, see if this works better. We could have done this before we started filming, but let's just do it live and see what happens. Where's my audio?
That sounds a little bit better.
Where's my audio control? Here it is.
This is fascinating.
I know. I can't imagine why.
Is this better?
Oh, gee. Yeah, actually, that's a lot better.
Yeah.
I would. Thank you.
Well, there. I'm using my microphone, my webcam mic. Last time I did it, you all said it sucked, so we'll just stick with it today.
Does it suck now?
It's kind of got an echo there now.
How about now?
That's slightly better.
We'll go with this for today.
I unplugged my other microphone. Is what I did to take care of the echo.
Well, I'll tell you guys. I'll tell you a story I hadn't told. So there was a actress.
Go ahead.
Whom I've tried to book for this show over many years now. Will email me every 6 months, and she finally listened to the show. I actually hadn't sent her anything in a few months, and she sent me going, so, yeah, just a couple of your episodes, you sound like you're in a cave. And I don't know which episode she's talking about.
There's many where we sound like we're in a cave.
Many.
I've got a question about that. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What if podcasts are filmed in a cave? Or recorded in it? Because there'd have to be some for you to be able to make that comparison, honestly.
Is this pre-episode 69? And I don't mean that as a joke.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. That was my excuse then. Back to her. And she said, well, keep on trying. So I'll give her, she didn't give me a Hollywood no. I think she wants to be wooed.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's her topic today, gentlemen?
We could probably cut this whole part out before we
No. This is the stuff we should say for our Patreon people.
Yeah.
That we don't have.
Yeah.
But this would be
Listen, if you give $1 a month, you could get all this behind the scenes footage. You think this is riveting? You should see the stuff we do cut.
Oh, I need more than $1 a month to take the time to cut that, to put that together.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So our topic.
Yes, our topic is franchises that need to die.
Right.
Other than this one.
Other than this one obviously doesn't need to die, although I'm just starting to question the lethargic. What would be the plural of lethargic?
It's
Lethargy?
not a type of word that has a plural. It's not a noun.
Yeah. So what if there's multiple lethargics?
That's not a thing. It's a description. You can have lethargic people. That's how you make it. You're really overcomplicating this.
James, how many lethargics does it take? Well,
just ask your mother. She'll tell you.
Chad's done. He's bowing out.
Oh, God.
You don't have to answer
your own
this
eyes,
lethargic
Chad.
problem either.
I'll do it.
Well, if y'all wake up.
I'm awake. I'm good to go. I'm on Central Time, baby. This is
all right.
prime time.
Who wants to go first?
Well, should we talk about it's franchise? So it's a movie that has been done, that has been spawned several sequels or reboots or remakes.
Yes.
That where they just need to stop.
Agreed. Yeah.
That's what we're covering.
Yeah. Now, we each have some sacred cows. Now, one that I'm not going to tackle, and I doubt that anybody else will, is Star Wars.
No.
Honestly, because, I'm actually, my point would be too specific. I think Star Wars Skywalker is done.
Yeah, no, I was going to say.
Clearly, if you've watched The Mandalorian, Star Wars can go on.
Or even Rogue One.
And Star Trek. Star Trek is another thing. Clearly can go on. I don't know that it needs a ton of movies for either one.
No, but I'll be honest. The more I watch that Picard, I think that Picard is and Discovery as well. Discovery, actually, the 4th episode of the 2nd season got to me.
Okay, so there's several that we're not going to, but there's a few sacred cows, that we love. 2 of the 3 of mine I absolutely adore.
It's same here.
2 out of the 3.
Right.
So who wants to go first? You want me to go? I think mine's the most controversial, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, Joe, go.
Go. You haven't went first in a while.
Indiana Jones should die.
Ooh.
No one. See, when you said, I think we're going to have the same, I said, no, Indiana Jones should die. Now, here's why.
No, here's the problem, though. I kind of agree with you.
I think most of you are going to agree with me, but that's beside the point. Now, Chad, we were going to do this. We talked about this last week.
Yeah.
As soon as we did it, I was sitting here in the room and I looked over, and if you panned over to this way, to the left, you would see I have an original Raiders of the Lost Ark, folks, okay? Original one-sheet poster. Love Indiana Jones, probably just slightly less than James Thomas. Now, I looked over and I said, boy, that's one that sure needs to die. And then what happens this week? I picked this. I swear to God, it's been the only one. Now, the other 2 I had a real hard time with, but my first
I honestly had a hard time with this because we're going to break this up into 2 parts of franchises versus stories that actually need to die.
And a lot of the stories that need to die we've talked about a little bit, but we'll go into that in the second part.
Right.
But I had a hard time with the second 2, but the first one was Indiana Jones, and for 2 reasons. One, well, it should get everybody talking, hopefully a little bit.
Yeah.
And 2, oh my God, you talk about diminishing, and I will go through why it's diminishing returns, not just with Crystal Skull. In fact, let's not even talk about Crystal Skull. Let's talk about how many character changes happened in one of my favorite Indiana Jones films, The Last Crusade.
Right.
They completely changed 2 main characters. The one by Denholm Elliott is completely changed into an idiot. Before we started shooting this, if you pull up my Roku, I was watching, or the Fire Stick or whatever it is, I was watching Raiders of the Lost Ark. My son fell asleep on me watching Raiders of the Lost Ark. And it's a almost completely different movie than The Last Crusade.
Real quick about this.
And this was before we ever, and don't get me wrong, I love The Last Crusade. I saw it in the summer of '89. We talked about how much we love it. It was a monumental film, but they changed so much.
Well, what I was going to say real quick, too, is as I was doing research for this, I was looking at franchises, and, of course, Indiana Jones popped up. You know what's shocking to me is that if you go by aggregate sites that aggregate reviews, do you know Crystal Skull has a higher aggregate score from critics and reviewers, humans alike, higher than Temple of Doom.
Probably. Temple of Doom wasn't a lot of people, it was a hit, I think, because it's A, it's a Spielberg film, B, it's Harrison Ford, and C, it was Indiana Jones' sequel.
Right.
And people forget the original movie is called Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's not called Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark.
No, it's like Star Wars becoming a New Hope.
Yeah, that's shit that they put on a VHS tape in the 80s.
Right.
Speaking of that as well, as a kid, I looked at Temple of Doom as Indiana Jones trying to get a little bit of that James Bond flavor.
Yeah.
The scene of him in the tux, the scene of him. Anyway.
And it has a horrible sequence in it with them going out of the plane. I know people love it. It's not very good. It is so dated.
Mm-hmm.
It does not hold up. The opening sequence does hold up. The opening dance number with Kate Capshaw holds up better than that sequence with them going out of the plane.
Yeah, I agree.
That being said, I don't want to belabor the point, but the big news this week was that Spielberg's not going to be directing it, which I thought it's kind of appropriate that I already picked it, but it's also going to be, everybody's going to think that's the reason why I picked it when I'd already picked it.
Right.
Do you think?
I don't have a problem with Spielberg directing the fifth one because I don't even think we need a fifth one. If they want to do comics, that's fine. James, here, I'll give you a thing. If they want to start doing a show again, like Indiana Jones, the Chronicles, that's fine. But movies, we're done. James, you feel that the character is bigger than Harrison Ford, correct?
I do.
Harrison Ford does not agree with you.
Well, I mean, why would he? Why would it's also,
I don't know that I agree with you either, but we'll see because it'll happen.
There's
because
two
Disney
things.
owns it, and in a few years, Harrison Ford's going to be dead, and hopefully, I'll live long enough to see the Indiana Jones reboot. Not because I want to see it; I just like to live.
Yeah. Well, and I
everybody.
To put this in the form of a court hearing, I will both. I will concur and partially dissent. The thing about the where I will partially dissent on is that Indiana Jones, them making movies and comics and video games and everything, is actually the natural continuation of what Indiana Jones was supposed to be. It's a serial.
It's a serial.
It's this Flash Gordon, what that was.
Just like Star Wars. Just like Star Wars. From the man that gave us Star Wars.
In that way, it makes sense for that to continue. But where I will concur somewhat is, as much as I love that character, and by the way, I'll see every movie they make. I mean, I will.
I'll go see it.
Oh, yeah.
That's who I am.
Even though James Mangold is one of the safest freaking choices for that ever. Mm-hmm. It's almost like they picked someone was like, well, no, Spielberg, let's get JJ. JJ would have been the only thing that would have been safer.
Mm-hmm. What I was going to say, though, is that where I will concur a little bit, though, is how often can this guy find the stuff nobody else can find?
That doesn't bother me.
No. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. You have to treat it as a serial, or the entire thing breaks down.
Yeah.
And we just got to hope that the surprise inside the cereal is worth having.
Yeah. See what he did there?
Yep.
On to the next one, gentlemen. Let's keep them rolling. Come on, Indiana Jones. If you're pissed at me, you come out here. You come at me, buddy. You come at me. And what I'm saying is our fans, I really would like to hear. Oh my God, I'd love to talk to Harrison about it. I'd love for him to shit all over me. I'd sit there and smile.
No, I'm on Kathleen Kennedy. Come after you.
You remember that time you were in Carbonite? Actually, no. I'll fuck with him and ask him a Mosquito Coast question.
No.
I would have gone regarding Henry.
So
I wasn't being in that coma.
Mosquito Coast, technically first movie he ever made that lost money.
Oh, nice.
No. You will ask him a Frisco Kid question, sir.
That's true. What's it like working with Gene Wilder?
Is he nice? I bet he's nice.
I bet he's nice.
I'd be even more of a dick. What's it like working with Josh Hartnett?
Oh.
I'm not going to talk about shitty movies. All right,
James, you want to go?
No, go ahead, Chad.
All right, my first franchise that I think needs to die. the Terminator franchise.
Yes.
Done.
I haven't seen the new one, and I know it needs to die.
I haven't seen the new one.
Which-
I haven't seen the one that was before that came out 2 years ago.
Genesis?
Yeah,
Oh, it's pretty bad.
I'm sure.
But
it
it's
is.
not as god awful as the one before that, Salvation.
Yeah, Terminator Salvation.
That's one
So
of
in
the
all
worst
fairness,
movies
they
I ever
keep
saw.
making movies
I've ever seen.
off
Seen Saw.
off a character that was good for 2 movies, Terminator and Terminator 2.
And really, you get a great made movie out of 2, but the story's all in one.
Well, yes,
Agreed.
completely agree. And
People
then
forget about that.
and then with Terminator 2, it's just like Indiana Jones. It's a completely different thing. They completely reversed the characters. They changed everything.
Mhm.
Terminator 1 is a horror movie.
Yes,
Oh, but
Terminator
1,
2 is an action film.
Yes.
Terminator 1 probably is one of the most success. I know a lot of independent films were successful. Let me try to think of how to say this. That is a master's class on what you can do with nothing
Right.
from someone who is the master filmmaker. James Cameron, love him or hate him, whatever he has is so unobtainium.
Oh, good. Why don't they let him have a crack at Indiana Jones? Because I want to see Indiana Jones get all that unobtainium.
He's too busy up in what's the name of the Avatar world?
Avatar.
No, it's not the name of the
Disney.
planet. What's
Had
that?
to go. No,
Pandora, just like that
Pandora,
bracelet you
that's
bought me for
right.
Christmas.
You're not worth Pandora money.
You don't even know what Pandora money. Well,
You,
actually
sir.
know.
Yes, I do.
you, sir, are only getting Pandorum.
Ah, what a
There's
failed
4
movie.
people that played Diablo watching this that know exactly what I'm referring to.
But
All
no,
right.
so no, the Terminator franchise, I don't understand why they keep making movies off this story.
Because
There's
at one time they made money.
one time they made money, but they've continually not. I think the last good, and I've never watched it, was the Sarah Connor Chronicles, the
I
TV
watched
show.
A few of those. They
I've
were
heard
okay.
I've heard it was good, but then they canceled that after what 2-3 seasons.
Yeah,
And then it's just they keep making the same crap movie over and over again, and everybody's shocked when it bombs. That's what kills me more than anything. Is it's like, oh, it's the next big movie of the summer. No, it's just going to be another shit fest. It's telling the same story over and over again, or they've just completely thrown away all the previous history and just did something else.
it's a really stupid title if you ever actually sit there.
What,
and
the
think about
Terminator?
Yeah,
Oh,
really
it is a dumb
stupid
title.
It's a dumb B movie title.
Completely.
What would
and
you
they-
call it?
Oh, I don't know what I'd call. It's an excellent. The Exterminator, James. What? But they'd already taken it. Jeez.
Robo Stalker Guy Dude, Part 4.
Still stalking. I don't. No,
I'm not. I really stand by the comment. The Terminator is a stupid title. It works. It's fantastic. But think about it for a second. Like RoboCop. It's a pretty stupid title.
Kind of like Star Wars. It should be Space Wars.
I know. No, and quite frankly,
Listen, Trump. What'd you say?
quite frankly, I mean, there's not a lot of stars actually fighting.
No,
No. Those were unknowns at the time.
I think there's only one
They're stunt
star.
doubles.
There's only one star featured in all the Star Wars movies, and that was Force Awakens.
That's Star Killer Base.
But they
Totally different than the Death Star.
but they took
Technically, Death Star.
they
would
took
be
the energy from a star. So there was a star featured. So technically, it was a Star War.
And the star did
It's
cause a war.
totally different than a Death Star.
Death Star's tiny. It's more like a moon. It's more like Death Moon.
That's no moon.
Anyway,
Space station.
Terminator died.
Yeah, Terminator died. James, what
Chad
do you
is
got?
absolutely, positively, 100% correct. That thing has been milked to fucking death.
Okay, what do you got, James?
I'm going to go one step better. And let me say again, this is a franchise that I enjoyed. It's not great, but I enjoyed it. And they keep talking about rebooting it, and it's had Justin Lin was going to direct it, a reboot at one point. It's had more people. And that is Highlander.
Hold on, I'm grabbing my chest. James just said
There's
Highlander.
a couple. No offense, I love you, but that's what I call low hanging fruit. And the reason being is because I was going through shit like Resident Evil, and I was like, oh, that's low hanging fruit.
No, my entire
Everybody
thing
thinks
about,
they should die.
my entire thing about Highlander is So I was reading about the reboot they're working on, which is going to be basically the first movie redone.
Yeah.
But as I said, it has been in development since 2010. So we're at the 10-year mark. It's still allegedly under development. But they recently asked about the new movie, and they actually said, well, here's the problem. We want to honor all the other movies, and their mythos doesn't line up. And I'm like, there you go. That means don't do it.
They shouldn't. Halloween did the smart thing. Fuck it. We don't understand any of this. This is a sequel to the first one. But John, you wrote the fuck it.
Well, no, but
Right,
that's the
Jen?
entire thing. And I said, I watched them. I enjoy the Highlander. I love the Highlander movies. That being said, the first movie ends with him flying off into space having ultimate power. Done.
Yeah, I agree with you. Highlander, done, dead. Never want to see another one. Never even cared that much for it in the first place.
Wait, which one ended it with him flying into space?
I enjoy them, but I can't do it.
Which one ended with him flying into space?
The one where they blew up Star Killer Base.
No, is this the one with Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley?
Watch the first movie. It ends. He gets
He doesn't fly away, though, does he?
He levitates into the air.
Well, yeah, we all do that. It was only like 3 or 4 feet.
Oh, God, I can't remember that movie.
I watched Rocket Man. Elton John did that shit.
That was good.
Really is
Elton
good.
John,
Probably so much better
Yeah.
than the Queen Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
It's a lot
By
more
the way,
fun.
I take that back. You're right. They need to make another Highlander, but only if it's Elton John.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Biddy and the Jets.
You got to admit, the soundtrack would be awesome.
Yeah.
The Highlander soundtrack, though, man.
And no, it is. It is an awesome soundtrack. But again, talking about diminishing returns, I think Highlander, even Terminator, holds up better than Highlander if you try to make that mythos square.
All right.
I agree with you. The Highlander franchise, it's one of those, they had one good movie.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Of course, I haven't seen all the rest of them. There might be one there that's good.
And no offense to everybody from the early 90s, I hated that TV show. I did.
Well, and that was one of the things that I always got me about the TV show was what timeline was that set in? Because once again, he kills the last one. Like the only sequel that tries to make sense is the one with Mario Van Peebles.
Yeah.
And he was buried under the rock, so he technically was dead. And then they're excavating, they move the rock, and he regenerates. Okay, you've got another house. That's the only one that tries to honor the first movie at all.
And that's the only one that comes close to actually having some interest to me is the third one. But also, I like Mario Van Peebles.
Yeah.
He's the second best villain after Kurgan in the Highlander mythos.
I just now realized Christopher Lambert and Mario Van Peebles did 2 movies together. Gunman.
Yeah.
Hell, why didn't that get a sequel?
I've never seen it. Still never seen it.
It could. You need to write it. Still gunning.
After you get done with the Robo Flaming Leg.
I've already forgot what I said.
Yeah, part 6. All right, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Future Killbot.
Here's one that's going to piss everybody off. And it actually, Chad, if you're looking around the room, you're like, he's not making up a list. He's just looking around looking at his posters.
Probably.
But I actually picked it not in this room.
Okay.
I never want to, or I don't need, I'll go see it. If they make it, I'll go see it. Just like the Indiana Jones. There's no point in lying to you folks.
Right.
I'll go see this shit because I have a disease. The disease, South Park got it right, is member berries. However, I never need to see another Alien movie. They need to die. They need to die now. They don't need to make any more of them. I don't give a shit if Ridley Scott is directing it. I don't care. We don't need any more Alien films. There are only 2 really good ones and 2 interesting ones, and that's it.
I can't argue that. Yeah, I mean,
Alien and Aliens are 2 totally different films. Once again, what did they do?
I know
They flipped it.
I was actually good. I'm glad I didn't because I would have. I was going to bring it up during the Terminator because it's exactly what James Cameron did, except he flipped it for the Alien franchise.
Yep, you flipped it. So you made the best haunted house picture movie in space ever.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And, well, you can't top that, so I'm going to go out and make, I almost said Merchant Marine. That'd be different, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to go out and make the best action Marine one in space ever.
Right.
And then if you know the story about Alien 3, it's an interesting movie. It really is. It's not a bad movie.
No,
by
it's
the way.
not.
It's Fincher's first film, David Fincher. It's an interesting film. It's a flawed, interesting film because it had a genius director who did not have the power to make the movie he wanted to make.
Right.
And then Alien Resurrection is another one that has a genius director that did not get to make the movie they wanted to make.
Right.
There are scenes in Prometheus I like, but can I recommend it to you?
No.
Fuck no. There are scenes in Alien. There's probably 2 scenes in Alien that I like, but can I recommend it to you?
No.
No, it's boring. They're boring. Alien versus Predator. Oh my God, they make out at the end. I mean, I know they don't, but what a piece of shit. Seriously, do we need any more Alien movies?
No,
because it was such an intriguing idea for them to explain where that space jockey came from, and they completely screwed the job. It's done. We don't need any more. It's finished.
James.
I know you're talking Alien. Do you feel the same way about Predator? Not to step on a future one, maybe. But
Yeah.
I feel the same way. Like I watched Predators.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is interesting, but do I care?
Predators is probably better than The Predator, which had a much bigger budget and was written and directed by Shane Black.
No, and it's fine.
The problem with Predators is it didn't have the budget, and I don't think he's a bad actor, but Adrian or whatever is
Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody is not a lead actor in a movie like that. Agree? He just doesn't. It doesn't.
You need Carl Weathers.
Yeah, Carl Weathers would have been more interesting.
No,
He's doing fine work on that Mandalorian.
I'm saying Carl. I think
Carl
Carl
Weathers
Weathers
is more
doesn't get
interesting.
enough.
Had more chutzpah. Yeah, I'm shitting on Adrian Brody. I'm sorry. You're fantastic in the piano, and I love Splice, but no, you're miscasting Predators. What?
No. James is.
I feel like I've stepped on somebody's grave. You guys have gotten quiet.
No.
There's no, and that's the thing. Like I said, the reason I threw in Predators with your conversation is I think you've explored the mythos of those worlds as far as you can. Yes, there's predators out there. They enjoy hunting. It's been done. Good for you.
Yeah.
It's been done actually in other ways.
You all think we need another Alien movie?
No, I don't. I didn't think we needed Prometheus.
So you're all on the same.
Yeah, no, completely agree with you. You're not going to get an argument out of me because
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, the xenomorph can only do so much.
The Beast is played out, and Ridley in an interview after Covenant came out and didn't do so well. He said the Beast has played out.
But at the same time, didn't he at one point he say, "I can just keep doing this shit"?
Yeah, he said he could have made 2 more.
Yeah.
He had plans to make 2 more.
He said, "I'll keep doing this as long as y'all are watching them." But thankfully, nobody watched Covenant. So
I mean, I saw it, and it wasn't a huge bomb, and it just. And by the way, I love the David character. I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
But once again, that's exploring something that has nothing
to
do with Alien.
It's nothing to do with Alien. And that's the one thing about the Alien franchise is that suddenly you're not worried. It's not about the alien. It's about everything else.
Absolutely.
So they have to focus on other characters. So why make an alien movie? Why not just make another space terror movie that's not alien related? Don't put a xenomorph in it.
Space terror.
So anyway, okay.
Who's next?
I'll go. So
no, not that one.
It might be because 2 of these movies are actually 2 of my favorites of all time. I still watch them on a regular basis. But fucking Die Hard needs to die.
Yo, God, yes.
I saw my list. It wasn't one of my main ones. It was an honorable mention.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
No. Okay.
Never again.
You could have made Die Hard with a Vengeance and ended it there. But no, then they have to make it, well, I'm going to team up with my son in fucking Russia.
That's actually the 5th one. You're missing a whole sequel before that.
Is the daughter the sequel? The one that comes after that?
The daughter is the sequel. The one that
the computer hacker. Yeah.
Have you ever heard Kevin Smith talk about it?
No.
Where he did some rewrites while he was on set, and then Bruce, and this is before he and Bruce fell out, making the other
2
movie.
dicks.
Yeah, making the 2 dicks fell out.
Yeah.
Right. And him actually saying Timothy's playing him like a pussy.
And it was a lame ass villain. And I don't understand.
And Timothy Olyphant's fantastic, but miscast.
Yeah, and I don't understand how many more times you can put Jonathan McClane in a situation where he has to go blow a bunch of shit up. He's just supposed to be a cop. And that's why 1 and 3 work out so well. And then 2 is it has its moments.
I mean, you mean you what you meant to say is 1 and 2 work out so well.
No, I meant 1 and 3. But
Die
and now-
Hard 2, though, he even has a line in Die Hard 2. How can this happen to one guy twice?
right.
Go back and watch that. He says the line.
No, I know. And I don't understand why. And now they're talking about. I think it's dead in the water. But now they've talked about doing a prequel to John McClane before the original Die Hard, and I'm like,
Oh, that'd be awful.
it'd be god awful. And the whole point of Die Hard is he was just a regular cop who got put into an unusual circumstance and prevailed. He got the shit kicked out of him, and now they're going to do a prequel where it basically completely
And
bans
that
that.
movie, once again, if you get the chance to watch the movies that made us, does a really good job of this. Most of us already knew most of the story.
Right.
That is such a happy accident.
Yeah, they made it up as they went.
And that book had been around. And if they hadn't rewritten that book, it wouldn't have been as successful. No, there was just so many happy accidents that happened with that.
Right. Because originally it was supposed to be terrorists, and John McTiernan got in and said, I don't want terrorists.
Yeah, I know. And if Alan Rickman hadn't been the guy,
Which that was his theatrical debut.
that is so many happy accidents.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to do it. If they hadn't have got, and that was right at the time when Bruce Willis should have been doing that and had the right. Yeah, that's just a happy accident.
Yeah. So no, they don't need to keep revisiting Die Hard. It's done.
I think that is done.
We don't need to reboot it. We don't need to remake it. We don't need a sequel. We don't need Bruce Willis at Harrison Ford age, getting the shit kicked out of him and keep going. I mean, it doesn't need to go anymore.
By the way, really quick, my one argument about Harrison Ford, is it's not age. I actually think Indiana Jones could do an older movie, but they would never do it correctly.
Right. No, I agree with you.
I think you could do an old Indiana Jones.
I don't argue with that, but they're not going.
But
to.
I just want people out there who are listening to know that's.
But you know
what? He's too fucking. No, that's not it at all. I don't believe that at all.
But
that's
you know what?
it.
You know where that is true?
Where?
Fucking Die Hard.
Yeah, but no, it is true. No.
Yeah, it just needs to go. Don't
the
revisit
character's
anymore.
not set up for that.
No, and this is one of those rare instances where I strongly feel I'm okay with reboots. Sure, go ahead. I don't give a shit. I might not watch it. I may watch it. But Die Hard doesn't need it. That's one of those strong, hard no's that it doesn't need a reboot at all. Just let it sit there. Let people enjoy what they have. Ignore 2 of the movies and enjoy the 3. James.
I guess this will be my controversial pick for some people, I guess. Screw Jurassic Park.
No, I agree.
I'm done.
How come we're not arguing it? This episode has been nobody's arguing.
However, can I say something?
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the last 2 of them. I saw them both in the theater. I've enjoyed them. The haunted house one, I thought that was so dumb and good at the same time.
Is that the 3rd one?
That's the second, the last one that just came out, Fallen World.
Oh.
And I call it haunted house because if you watched it and you knew who directed it, you knew his past, and you watched because have you seen Fallen Kingdom? Whatever it is. Oh, you should watch it.
Oh no. Jurassic Park. Yeah, I've seen them all. I've seen every Jurassic Park movie.
The last one. Where's in the house? The
Yeah.
haunted house one.
Yeah.
So yes, I'll go see the 3rd one. But yes, they're so.
And here's my argument, and it's because I was rewatching them. I caught them, and I was rewatching them. I'm like, the first one is Spielbergian. It really is. You get the awe of that scene where they pan over and they see dinosaurs for the first time. The effects are even dated now, but that is still cool.
They're not dated like other movies.
Yeah.
And so, and I was thinking about it, and by the time you get to Jurassic, actually, I might say after the first one.
Yeah,
I mean,
I really truly feel The Lost World is Spielberg's worst movie.
The Lost World lost me. The 3rd one I hated. And again, with Jurassic World, it was fun to go back to. It's a popcorn movie, but you've taken all the awe out of it because it's no longer about seeing dinosaurs. Now we're making crap up.
Yeah, it's just all about dinosaurs. How many more movies can you make of dinosaurs in a park? And shock, they go crazy. I don't
think this one, the next one's about a park where they go crazy. Technically, the second one. I'm not trying to argue with you. I agree with you all, but the counter that is that Fallen Kingdom did take them out of the park.
Well, so
the first 20 minutes. Yeah, and they put them right back in the park. That's
Well,
what I'm
and that's kind of my
And they-
thing too.
They didn't do it till the last 10 minutes. And then they ripped off King Kong.
I know.
And then they put him right back in the fucking park.
I'm not arguing with you. Lost World's a turd.
Let me step back from my statement a little bit. I will go see the next one if it's a drama about the bureaucrat. It's a legal drama that follows the guy that has to keep them in business. Now listen, fellas, listen. Now, sure, that dinosaur ate that child. Now listen, that could have happened. Mickey
Here's
Mouse
where
could
I
have
call bullshit.
Oh.
Here's where I call bullshit on the third one and the last with the new trilogy is that I feel that the two main characters, and I like Chris Pratt and I like Bryce Dallas, they should have no involvement. If you're actually doing a progression of these dinosaurs throughout real world, their characters should not be involved in this. Wouldn't you think they'd run to the hills?
No, I agree with you.
So there's no way that they would be involved with any of this shit.
And now for the third one, aren't they bringing back Sam Neill and Laura Dern?
Yeah.
So
and that's kind of my argument of, I mean, by the third one, it's like we're never dealing with these dinosaurs again. And I understand it's business. They got offered a paycheck. And
Well,
by the
yeah,
way,
I'm sure they signed a 3-picture deal, and those movies make a lot of money, man.
mhm.
oh yeah, no, and by the way,
The Jurassic
I say
World,
all
movie.
this,
How much? Almost $2 billion. It was huge.
Yeah.
I say all this with the caveat, hey, listen, Spielberg, if you need somebody in the background just to get ate by a dinosaur, call me. Fine, I'll do it. I'm a capitalist too. That being said, the majesty and wonder is gone.
Yeah, I feel the same way about the Highlander.
True.
Was there ever majesty and wonder in Highlander?
The idea of the mythology of immortals slowly
I'm just giving you
interesting.
shit. I just giving you shit.
No, I agree with you. It's an interesting story. It's only been done correctly
Kind of once.
Yeah, kind of once.
They got some decent casting right, and the music, and they got swords and shit. I suppose.
Hey, that puts them ahead of us.
I
Yes.
agree. I know. We're shitting on it. Are you done?
I mean, there's not much else I can say. If people feel that if somebody and let me say, I think this is true for all of us. If there's another movie in these franchises that come out and blow us away, we'll come back and apologize in an episode.
Absolutely. You will
Please,
get
and I would love for the next Jurassic Park World
like
whatever
dinosaurs.
What,
to
Jay?
blow me away and me have to come back and be like, no, I was wrong. Sure, 3 of them suck, but this one was okay.
Yeah. All right.
What's your third?
My third is not controversial in any way, shape, or form. I really blew my wad with the first one and the second one. The second one I don't think is all that controversial. I think most people would agree with me about Alien.
Mhm.
The third one, I never, ever, ever will not, and this one I won't pay to see ever again, another fucking Rambo movie. I won't pay. I won't pay. I will not pay. So
What happens if they reboot it?
I don't want to see the piece of shit unless somebody comes to me. It'd have to be probably one of you two, because I don't even know that any of them are all really that good in the first place.
Oh no, disagree.
No, they're not. They're not. Rambo 3, no, it's not a very good movie.
No,
Rambo 2, and then the first one is an interesting story, but it really has nothing to do with whatever else thing came.
that I
became
disagree with
First
you.
Blood.
First Blood and at least First Blood, yeah. Rambo 3 does not hold up very well
I haven't
because
seen
you know he finds cicada. I mean not cicada.
He
the
finds
Taliban.
katydids.
The Taliban. What the hell did I just come into my head?
First Blood's an interesting movie that was not in it, that they barely saved, and it is an interesting concept. I don't know that a ton of people are out there who've actually seen it, who actually probably know what that is, even Rambo. That's another one of those that Rambo got added to it afterwards
Yeah.
for the sequel. Yeah, I will not pay to see another Rambo movie.
Well, and
I'm a
and
person-
so Rambo, the
That
book.
last one is not a movie.
No, I haven't seen it. I'm personally, I do find the fourth Rambo actually entertaining.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, Rambo, the First Blood and the fourth Rambo, yes, but I agree with you.
I forgot about He's right.
because
God
that,
forbid it, but he's right. That fourth Rambo movie, I actually prefer it over First Blood.
It's
That's
actually-
the best Rambo
and
movie.
it's a good. I agree with you on that. It's a good popcorn movie, but I agree
It's
with
a
you.
fantastic popcorn movie.
It doesn't need to be to keep. They don't need to
And-
keep readdition.
It's the one directed by who?
Refresh my.
Stallone.
Oh, okay.
But First Blood, the book.
I've never read it.
Okay, well, spoiler.
Yeah,
Um,
he dies.
First Blood, the book, was kind of an early example of the actually exploring what Vietnam vets went through, et cetera, et cetera. And spoiler, it doesn't end well for Rambo.
Yeah,
Right.
He dies at the end, I believe. If I remember
but
correctly.
I never. I meant it. And I guess it's because the other one's so bad.
And I think with the first one, if I'm not mistaken, he had a whole lot more dialogue in that.
Yeah, they cut all his
They cut
dialogue.
all of it because they realized, oh shit, this is terrible with him talking.
Yes.
So they
yes,
cut his
that's-
dialogue,
yeah.
and that made it interesting.
And Stallone says Stallone takes credit for it from
Mm.
going back and cutting all the dialogue. Anyway, yeah, Rambo, kill it, dead, stupid. I barely got through that fourth one, and honestly, if you sit and think about it, it didn't make any sense either. Other than he's trying to get all the world to the ass armpit of the dead of the world to get away from everyone,
Right.
and it's a great action film.
Right.
Past that, it's the best Rambo movie. You're right.
All right. So my third pick. Comic book movies are huge.
Now,
Everybody they are entertaining the world, and I'm not arguing that. However, there's one character I'm done with. Superman.
yep.
Done.
I think you probably. Do we need another Batman? I know. I know.
No, I
They're
mean,
shooting it right now. I know.
there's an argument that, but at the same time, there's a lot more villains that you could use in Batman that hasn't been used. Batman can be done. Superman, it's just over. They made one good movie. The first one. The second one's okay. Third one's terrible. Fourth one's terrible. Superman Returns made me want to punch my fist to a wall. Go ahead.
You know what I will say about Superman is
You changed your tune over that over the years.
I have.
that's because it's been
You are
burned so
giving me
many
one about
times.
What makes Superman really interesting is that he has to be such a do-gooder.
I mean, that's what makes it. That's what makes the character interesting. But they can't do it in the movie correctly. I'm not arguing
Like I say,
that.
you've been burned too many times. But and that's it. I was saying about Superman, like I would love to see. Going back to Joe's argument about happy accidents. I mean, I think the Christopher Reeve Superman movie is a chain of happy accidents in its own right.
That's true.
Yeah, that is.
Christopher Reeves playing Superman. There's that one scene. It's a pivotal scene I always think about where he goes from being Clark Kent to Superman when Lois turns around. He raises up another inch. And I think we've lost that in the Superman movie.
Yeah, they've never replaced Christopher Reeve.
No, and there's not been a Clark Kent.
No, and I was going to say, and there's phenomenal the people.
So we
who
all agree
tried
about
to-
that?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
never found anybody that came close to
No.
Christopher Reeve to
Mm.
play the two characters,
No.
correct?
Yeah,
No,
I was going to say, and there have been the people that have done it have talent, but they're just not Christopher Reeves, and I think that's
Right.
it. I think if you held a gun to my head and told me I had to write a Superman movie, I would be more interested in writing it from starting with Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Everybody else starts with Superman, and he start with Clark Kent, and there were glimmers of that in Man of Steel, with which of course they changes the origin of Paul Kent.
Oh god, that whole thing's hard.
But there were images of that of what do you do if you have this power and you can't use it, or do you use it? When do you use it? That little snippet, what is that? Maybe 5-6 minutes of that film.
right.
That was interesting. The problem is that film's about 2 hours long.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you can't do any more with the character. I just don't see how you can make it interesting, because just like I did talk to Joe about this years ago about the fact that Superman's biggest issue is that he has to do good. He has to be a do-gooder, but they can't do it correctly. I mean, God, Zack Snyder ruined 2 movies. I hate both of them. And then, there's all this argument about give us the Snyder cut of Justice League.
Couldn't be worse.
That's what I'm saying. It couldn't be worse, but at the same time, does everybody forget that his other 2 Superman movies suck? Why are they wanting to see it?
Do
I
you
don't
think it'll be a poltergeist thing? Or not Poltergeist, an Exorcist. Remember The Exorcist?
Probably. What you'll get is a slightly more what you'll get, I don't even know if it'll be interesting, but what you'll get is an overblown 3 hour, if they let him do it. You get a overblown 3 hour cut with at least probably someone's vision.
It'll be darker. And
as opposed to someone no vision in the other one. What do you think?
Yeah, and it'll be darker, and the humor won't be there because you know where Josh Whedon put in his parts because there's funny parts in.
Did I send you? Joe Blow did the best job of this. They break it down to where you can see where it's Whedon's because the CGI never came out right if you look at it. And it's right. I went back and looked when they covered up the mustache for Mission Impossible.
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah.
So there's a hell of a lot more of that movie that was reshot than they admit to.
Right. So no, and now there was talk, I don't know if it was rumors or not, but they're talking about redoing it with Michael Jordan. Michael B. Jordan. And
did he already Killmonger? Didn't he have enough superheroes?
Well, no, he's a
supervillains.
He's a nerd too. He likes that type things. I mean, that's why he did his Killmonger outfit was based off Vegeta, based on his design, because he's a huge anime fan. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it might put a good spin on the character, but it's still going to be the same boring ass Superman movie over and over again. We're done with Superman. Batman, I can argue that they could keep making movies. I don't think they need to reboot it every time. Just keep doing stories with villains. There is going to be a time when Batman does, okay, we're done with Batman. But
it'll fade out.
It'll fade out.
And it'll come back 20 years later.
I know they're shooting a new Batman. I don't have any particular interest.
The only thing about Superman that briefly gave me a glimmer of hope that there might be something here is when George Miller was supposed to be doing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that might cause something to interest me in seeing another Superman movie. But that went away, and I'm just done. Every time Superman's on the screen, I'm just like, it's going to be boring. It's not going to be much to it. He's going to run his fist through something. He's going to beat somebody up. That's the end of it.
The shout out to Joe Blow. Joe Blow does the whole Justice League, and it talks all about the George Miller. If you get a chance to look at it, it's called the WTF series. It's what the fuck happened.
Is this the Justice League, George Miller?
Well, no, it doesn't stop. It's Justice League, so it goes all the way back.
Okay.
Of how you ended up with that movie.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, gotcha.
So you have to include George Miller and just how close, because that movie was cast.
Oh, that was cast. It was designed. They were like getting ready to shoot, if I'm not mistaken.
And what happened there? So for our audiences, go out and check that out.
So yeah, but no. So James, what's your third pick?
I'm also a little tired of all superhero, but that's the point.
I'll be honest with
you. Although the Avengers Endgame was an excellent movie.
I am a little bit on the superhero fatigue as well, and I'm a comic book nerd, so there you go.
I've got a bunch I want to talk about, but there's one that actually, and I know you weren't a fan of the first one anyway, Joe, but I want to talk about this one because I think it runs a gamut of, okay, this is an interesting concept. And then by the time we get, thanks for yawning, Joe. By the time
I'm so sorry. I've been up since 6. I'm sorry.
Just giving you hell. But by the time you get to another movie, it took what was.
Oh my God! I interrupted him.
It took what was interesting about the first one, and it's gone. It's done. And that would be the Final Destination films.
Oh well, yeah.
The
I
first
never cared about
movie,
those to begin with.
No.
So if you don't know this, by the way, about the Final Destination.
Shout out to Jeffrey Reddick, the only guy from Breathitt County who went on to work for New Line Cinema and write screenplays and make movies. God bless him.
No, and Jeffrey Reddick, if you don't know the story behind this, you all probably do, but if you're listening and don't know the story, it was an X-Files episode.
Yeah.
He wrote it as an X-Files episode. He did a spec script. They liked the script. It ended up never happening. And a colleague at New Line said, why don't you just make it into a movie? And he wrote Final Destination. Well, Final Destination made money. They said, will you write a sequel? He said, yes. By the way, after he got his check for the second movie, he said, this is great. I'm done. He gets royalties, I guess, now off the other ones. But that's my problem with the film series. So the first one, it's you escape death. Well, death is going to come back and get you. And it's not a slasher film. It's not. It did something a little bit that we didn't see during horror movies.
It's an interesting premise.
This time.
Unfortunately, it has Devon Sawa in it, though.
And the second movie, okay, we return to that. It's a year later, big accident.
Really quick, I never watch them. I don't own them. But from my memory, the second one is the one I like out of them.
Well, the second one
second
is
one's one
that,
of the
that
log truck,
accident
right?
scene.
I can't remember.
I spent a lot of
Well,
time
the
on the
second one's with the log truck scene, right?
Yeah.
The guy that directed
that
it's really
accident scene on
talented.
the
He's
interstate where
the
one thing
second
triggers
dude
another.
director who that's his first film. He's really talented. He also directed Snakes on a Plane. Same guy.
Which is why don't
Not
we
a
have
great
sequels
movie,
to
but he's a
that?
talented guy. I know.
But so anyway, all of this to say all of this. So it's by the time you get to the last film, it became a slasher film even without a slasher. Like it
I don't
was.
bother watching them.
It had lost everything that made it cool. Tony Todd was revealed to actually be Death. In the first one, he's just an Undertaker that's creepy. By the last one, he's revealed to be Death. So they went back and added in a slasher that happened to be Death.
Yeah.
And so it took everything away from it. It was just, when it was just, hey, fate is going to get you, that's interesting.
Yeah.
By the time you get to I actually Final Destination 3 forward, I was like, don't care anymore. It was a great concept that wore out its premise.
Honorable mentions. To roll off that, I never could give two shits about seeing a Resident Evil or a Saw movie again. That new Chris Rock one looks like low-grade trash.
Yeah. It's Chris Rock.
It may be amazing.
Yeah.
And if it is, I will eat my words and say this isn't bad. But the trailer looks like low-grade trash.
Mm-hmm. Those are your honorable mentions?
That's a two off the top of my head.
Okay.
Honestly, there's a ton more I could just go down that I don't. I mean, I can look around the room. Does anybody need another Hellraiser movie? Does anybody need another Nightmare on Elm Street?
I'll do two honorable mentions, and one of them's
Friday 13th.
One of them actually hurts me to say it. So the first one's going to be The Matrix. And honestly, I don't
know what they're doing with the fourth one.
I don't know what they're doing, but again, it's one of those. The third one was, I mean, it was just one great movie and two, and then this is the one that pains me to say it, but they've actually only made two good movies out of this franchise. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm done with it. The very first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is great.
I don't think that one's going to be controversial, though.
Yeah, that's true. But it hurts me.
Will be somebody. There's somebody who's going to give you flack about that.
Dude, I watched one of those turtle movies. Oh, they're awful. With Megan Fox.
Yeah, they're awful.
And you told me I watched the second
one.
No.
I didn't say it was good. I said it's better than the first one. It gave me a glimmer.
But that's
of hope.
the one I saw.
Okay.
Then don't go back and watch the first one.
You need to go back and
worse. It was awful.
You have no idea how bad that first one is.
It's awful. The only one of those Ninja Turtle movies, other than probably the first one that doesn't was the animated one wasn't too bad.
That was I was going to say the computer animated version that came out in the early 2000s.
That one's okay, but
it's good.
I've never desired to see it again.
I've actually watched it several times, and I enjoy it. It
totally holds up.
It does. It's a turtle story, and then the first one's a turtle story, and then all the other ones are just.
Are you saying Go Ninja Go wasn't in the comic book?
By the way,
you lying to me?
If you know what the actual comic books are, none of this is in the comic books.
it's lampooning Daredevil.
Yeah.
That's what the comics are.
Yeah. So no, I just it paint and the TV shows. I don't think the TV shows need. Well, some of them do, but the TV shows keep finding ways to make it interesting. But as a movie, I don't want to see them anymore.
I got to be honest.
Burned out.
Hey. I never.
You don't know
in the first place.
I know, but you have no idea how much it hurt. It hurts me to even say that because the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have a very special place to me. But I've only seen two good movies.
Past the Xenomorph, nothing past the Xenomorph. If he had a fedora on with a whip.
James, honorable mentions. I'm trying to get us out of this.
Oh no, I've got a couple.
That's most horror movies.
Same thing with Die Hard. I'm going to say about Lethal Weapon. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, you're right.
Murtaugh and Riggs. Riggs is Mel Gibson's character, right?
The third one, it sucks too.
No, but when Riggs was suicidal, that was a fascinating movie. By the time we get to third.
Yeah, I agree. Although, let me defend the second one a little bit. Now, Shane Black...
Diplomatic fucking immunity.
It has some great quotes. It's a really good movie. It's a great 90s or 80s action movie. Shane Black wrote the first draft, and he killed Riggs in the first draft. I don't know if you guys know. That's the reason he got fired,
Yeah.
which would have been a hell of a way. And now if you rewatch it and you know that Riggs was dying in Shane Black's, it makes a little more sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it'd been a hell of a way to do it. But yeah, that's you don't really need to watch them past part 2.
No, I agree.
Oh, that fourth one's fuck. Oh, jeez.
Ah,
The only
man.
good thing about that is the Jet Li scenes.
I know. That's why I have it. I agree with you. It's not
That's a
good,
terrible movie.
but I enjoy parts of it. But
Yeah.
3's terrible.
Yeah, they suck. James, you're right. Can I say one that's really controversial, but it's not really a franchise as of this sequels, but it's not a story either.
Okay.
I watched, and is this okay with you all? I didn't
don't
really
care.
have it planned till we were talking in the middle of this, and I said, I honestly almost replaced Rambo with this. I bought a Blu-ray of a movie that I hadn't seen yet, and I let a buddy borrow it. And I watched it finally the other night. And there was another friend of ours who's close. His name's Clay Sturgeon.
I almost brought this up.
Bought it. He brought it. He'd been wanting to have lunch. We have lunch at least once every couple of weeks. Try to. It's a dear friend, and he loved it. He went to the show when they were doing. He didn't get to see this certain person who was doing the road show, but he got to see it in the theater.
Yeah.
And he loved it. And he says he's watched it several times.
Told you.
All right. So how I can explain this, I watched Jay and Silent Bob reboot, and how to say this is that there are some parts of that movie that are so smart when they're talking about the reboot
Right.
and what it's about reboots and what it's like to remakes and what that means for Hollywood. And then there's other parts of that movie that are so bad.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it overall because I think I enjoyed just hanging out with those folks. And actually, Ben Affleck's probably the best part, one of the best parts of the movie, slightly. Some of the
Yeah,
stuff
but
he
he's
gets to do.
yeah, I guess. Yeah. But it almost brought it up. I was going to bring it up, but I couldn't make
But here's the thing: is I don't want to tell Kevin Smith to stop making movies. I just don't need to see any more View Askew ones.
No, I agree with you, Jay.
How is that for the best answer?
Completely answered. Kevin Smith.
Please keep
movies.
making them, buddy.
Keep making movies. They're entertaining. They're great.
I actually like the Walrus one.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody says about Tusk. It's a great movie. Yoga Hoser sucks.
Yeah, that sucks.
Why am I talking to the microphone?
I don't know, but I don't know that Yoga Hose is a great movie. But damned, you had something to say.
Yeah.
Red State, you had something to say.
Yeah, but we
Please
don't.
more.
No more View Askew. No more Jay and Silent Bob.
No.
And it's like I said, Chasing Amy.
That third act, dude.
Chasing Amy is a great movie. It's a classic in rom-coms.
James, have you seen it?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
That third act.
Oh God, it's terrible. But no,
and it's no reason. Like the whole Russian, there's just no reason for it. It
No.
didn't even make sense.
But my point about Jay and Silent Bob and View Askew is Chasing Amy is a classic rom-com, maybe my favorite rom-com of all time. Jay and Silent Bob are in it for a total of 5 minutes.
Yep.
The only movie where Jay and Silent Bob are in it from beginning to end that is actually good, Dogma.
What about
Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is good. I take that back. I'm sorry.
Well, I haven't watched it in a long time.
No, it's good.
Yeah,
I mean, it is. I laugh every
I
time.
couldn't figure out because I didn't want to. First of all, I was like, did Chad ruin it for me?
I may have.
And then the second
Because
part,
you've done that to me several times. When I go to see a movie, you tell me it sucks. I'm like, oh yeah, Joe was right. Damn it, you ruined it for me.
and then second part of it is like, well, I don't know. We're finishing it because there were so many F words that I had to turn it off about 30 minutes into it because Quint just was sometimes just glued to that television, by God, for that one particular movie. He wouldn't look it away.
Right.
So I just turned it off, finished at 11 o'clock at night, and I was like, was I too tired? And then I took a couple of days to think about it. I was like, because I enjoyed parts of it, and I didn't hate it.
I enjoyed
you know the best part of that movie? Maybe the credits sequence after the movie's over.
Yeah.
When they're doing like outtakes and things like that.
Uh-huh.
It's just some parts are so bad. I wish he had somebody to tell him. He has the same issue that I think James Cameron has, specifically now that he can do these small, independent funded films where he has complete control. Kevin Smith has, and God bless him for having it.
Yeah.
He needs someone to tell him no.
Right. I agree. James, do you have any? I don't know.
There's some great cameos in it, but it doesn't add to anything. There was nothing.
I'm going to tackle another one that I enjoy them, but I'm done with them. The Ocean series.
Are they making any more?
Ocean's 8 just came out. I mean,
I didn't
and
watch it.
I haven't watched
it made money. Will we see
I saw
Ocean's
scenes.
9? Maybe. And by the way, the other one I want to bring up is now officially done, or so they say. We don't need another Sharknado film. We don't. No, here's my argument.
Did we need the
Did
first one?
you know this about Sharknado? The
What?
first one, seriously. It wasn't a hit when it came out. So Sharknado, when it came out and premiered, it actually had less viewers than the average sci-fi original movie. However, some actors, including and Hollywood types, Damon Lindelof, Will Wheaton, and Olivia Wilde, started tweeting about what a weird movie it was. It also happened to be the last thing that Corey Monteith, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, but anyway, the Glee actor that committed suicide,
Yeah.
Okay.
died. Yeah. He not suicide. Sorry, not. But anyway, he died. It was the last thing he tweeted about, and so a week after that, they decided to re-air it because these Hollywood people tweeted about it, and it all of a sudden jumped up a 38% increase over its original airing, and that's what started all of this. And if you watch the first Sharknado,
I
don't
unfortunately
recommend that, but if
have
you
seen
do-
the Anthony C. Ferrante masterpiece. He used to edit a horror website, Dread Central, I think. So
Oh, Dread Central, yeah.
if you do watch it, it tries to play as
What's a Dread Central?
silly as it is. It tries to play it seriously, and it does an okay job for a sci-fi movie. None of the sequels honor that original vision.
It's a terrible movie.
And now we even have low grade parodies of we have Clown NATO now. And I'm like,
That's awesome.
do we need to keep having these tornado themed animal fucking monster?
Listen, if you show up and pay the ticket, I'll provide the ride, Chad.
By the way, and the final one I want to mention, because it gets talked about being rebooted, and we've talked about it before, and I literally am not saying this just to keep a conversation going, because
I clearly think you are with the last one.
I'll be honest, I tried to go back. I tried to be, am I being unfair? I ignored everything else, and I've been sitting and watching the Police Academy films.
I just watched all of them.
Holy daylight, how did those get made? It made me
The
so
fifth one is a
upset.
masterpiece. Don't you besmirch it.
No. Well, I didn't know that they based it on an actual program where they were letting people in, that the mayor made them let everybody that wanted to try out for the police try out. That part is true. But what got me was you had the authors. So the guy that directed the first one, Hugh Wilson,
Yep.
they picked him to direct it because he worked on WKRP.
He was one of the creators of WKRP.
In Cincinnati.
And then you had Israel and Proft.
Pat Proft has turned us down this week, by the way, but he wrote a very lovely message about how he would prefer to take the fifth. Put it into any story. You know he worked on the Red Fox show?
No.
Do you know how hard I've messaged more than once trying to get him to come on our show?
No.
Well, let me tell you, I put some effort into it. And it wasn't to talk about Wrongly Accused, his directorial debut. Sorry. Had to bring him up, didn't you?
Proft and Israel originally wrote it as block comedy. So they would write a scene, this is funny, then they would jump scenes when it stopped being funny.
Well, that's most of the Police Academy movies.
Well, but here's what I found really, really funny was that then they hired this Wilson to rewrite it. And here's a quote from Melansky. Wilson took out a lot of the vulgarity, some of the things I actually considered necessary. I worried that it was becoming more homogenized, and I told Hugh, let's keep some of the flatulence in. And that, by the way, and they allude to Blazing Saddles. They wanted more fart and poop jokes in there because of Blazing Saddles.
Are you going somewhere with this?
Well, I did not enjoy.
The answer is no.
I did not enjoy watching Police Academy, but what I can tell you is, as I was like, no, I need to honor my friends and watch this. I watched the sequels, That deserved an Oscar compared to the movies that follow. And by the way, there is stupid amounts of talent that worked on it. The posters are done by Drew Struzan. You've got the guy that worked on Naked Gun writing scripts. You've got talent behind this. How did this franchise go? And I didn't know they made them year after year after year. That the first 4 is 84, 85, 86, 87.
Yeah.
And then they took 5 years off before the last one. And so as people are talking about rebooting Police Academy, I have to step back and say, and by the way, I'll add on to this. We don't need Super Troopers 3 either. But these are of their time. Let them lie. Same thing with Super Troopers. I love Super Troopers. I want to see.
And with that, let James Thomas lie.
No, I was going to say, much like with you, Kevin Smith, listen, Broken Lizard, I want you to make more stuff. I've enjoyed your stuff. No more Super Troopers, please.
No more Super Troopers. All right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. If we pissed on something that you love and you think we're horrible human beings who need to burn in the fires of perdition, please keep those comments to yourself. I don't need to be hurt. No, please let us know. I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'd love for people to get mad and tweet back at us, but they don't so much.
No, it's really hard to get people. People will vote on Twitter, but we don't get a lot of engagement on Twitter.
Yeah.
But
all right. Well, thanks so much. This has been Bonehead. Stay tuned for the best episode ever.